So, bonus video. Let's talk about some of the problems you can have with allocating owners for objectives and key results, as well as the various other responsibilities you might have in your organization outside your OKRs, things like business as usual, regular processes, operations, and things like that, right? So occasionally you're going to find that you need to assign multiple owners for a single item. There's a single key result and you need multiple people to own that. If you can choose one, just choose one because it's easier. But if you need more than one, it's okay. But now you have a problem. Do they collaborate on a single shared plan, or do they each write separate plans for their domains and then somehow align these plans? Now, the only solution to this is to make a judgment call based on what you think will get the best results. And it usually comes down to how well those people work together already. Optimally, one person takes the lead and the others contribute to a shared plan. But many organizations struggle to do this. And if that's you, it's easier to just have separate plans. So each person is planning for their domain, for their team, for their area, and then align. Now, a common example case for this is when you have a lot of the resources in, say, an engineering team, but the DRI, for the directly responsible individual for the relevant objective or key results, might be in the product team, right? That's really typical. And this may also happen when you have a product person with marketing or a marketing person with sales or whatever it is that you have to collaborate on, right? Depends on your objective and your key result in your organization, right? But it can make sense. Or, by the way, another common place here is when you have a platform team, an engineering platform team, and an engineering user experience team. But okay. So in this case, where you have an engineering team and a product team, it may make sense for the engineering team leader to own the planning for the engineering team, so they can cover things like keep the lights on work and technical debt reduction and all of that sort of stuff, all of the business as usual and other things that they have to do that product doesn't necessarily need to be aware of. And the DRI for the OKR, so that's the product manager, would take the role of making sure that the right things are covered by the plan and that the bits that are missing from the engineering plan are covered by other people, such as marketing or sales or wherever else we need to do, or themselves, product. They'll then do the same with marketing, customer success, operations, and whichever other teams they need to work with to support that objective or key result. So there's no need for a cross-functional leader to try to write the plans for other teams. You don't want the product manager writing a plan for operations and a plan for customer success. You kind of want operations to write their plan, customer success to write their plan, marketing to write their plan, engineering to write their plan, and then you have the product manager making sure that we're actually coordinating between them and facilitating a lot of that interaction in order to deliver that key result. Another problem you can have sometimes is that you run out of people. Now, as long as the person has capacity, it's fine to have one person owning multiple objectives or key results, especially if their team is responsible for delivering multiple things. That's okay. But one thing I'd advise you is that if it's possible, and you can aim for leaders that have a singular focus, whether that's at objective level or key result level, that's often helpful. Now, this whole thing of allocating owners to key results isn't an organizational chart exercise. It's a responsibility allocation exercise. And these allocations can change every quarter without affecting reporting lines and careers and things like that. If you find that you need one person to be the DRI for one recurring topic for a few years, but that person doesn't control all the resources, doesn't manage all the resources that are needed for that topic, you may find it helpful to make some organizational changes so they do, but don't rush into it. Do this slowly. It's much easier and faster to change objectives and key results and ownership allocations than it is to change an organizational chart. But if you can, it's often most effective if you arrange your organization so most leaders' roles are aligned with their responsibilities as defined in the OKRs and other things like business as usual and KPIs, their resources, the people that they're managing, and their decision-making remit. That's what decisions they're allowed to make, how they're empowered. So if you can align the 4 R's, role, responsibility, resources, and remit, it tends to work really well. Because if you do this, there's less work required to align between teams and the organization is more effective and efficient. Now at Amazon, they call these single-threaded leaders because they have one thread or thought process. It comes from CPUs. CPUs have threading, right? So one thread or thought process that's completely dedicated to one topic rather than attempting to multitask. There's to be a multi-threaded leader, and they tend to do less well than single-threaded leaders. So try and create single-threaded leaders if you can. So that should cover some of the common problems people have with allocating owners or DRIs to OKRs, right, and to responsibilities. The thing is that it depends on your situation and there's always exceptions. And what you need to do is make sure that whatever it is, it's clear and and people know what's expected. This person is responsible for writing the plan or for compiling the plan. That person is responsible for delivering with these people. you need to review with each other or whatever you need to do. Make sure it's clear. In the next video, we're going to have an activity.